This is Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by...
Camera all right after you just got some help on it?
Yeah, it's just nice to be able to rely on the incredible DAZN facilities that they have behind the camera.
Well, I just, like, there's probably 30 people in this room that are looking at you, embarrass yourself. Like,
nah.
For people that don't know, you're like trying to put your... excuse me, did you not do this? Excuse me, is there anyone in the room that knows how to help me with my camera? I mean, like, how have you got this far? Other than knowing me?
I still ask myself that some days, Edward.
If we had never met, let's be honest, based purely on your ability, like, where would you be?
GQ Men's Magazine front cover.
Who?
Me.
What on earth you would literally, you would have packed in.
That is so not true.
You'd have had to got a proper job.
What I was meant to do instead?
What?
Politics and international relations.
Oh, shut up. Politics and international relations. What? You're the most deluded man I've ever met.
Could you not imagine me heading a G5 summit?
Your Instagram is the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
Go on, why? You can't talk.
Me by a pool, me on a private jet, me on a boat. Do you know how many people now in the industry think you are a complete wanker?
That's fine.
People are going to me.
Edward. We can deal
people
with
are forwarding. I don't want to drop people in. People are forwarding me your stories, going, "Have you seen this? How cringe? What has happened to him?"
You said that for 2
I'm here
years
to save you.
Now. I appreciate that.
Good.
You did reply mugging me off again yesterday. I was at a pumpkin patch, weirdly enough, and you said I got another job.
No, I said it's good to see you're still doing the pumpkin collection for a bit of extra cash.
Nice. Stomping Ground does okay, to be fair.
Stomping Ground.
Is this just like a Stomping Ground criticism?
What is it, Stomping Ground? Like, it should just be called something more relevant to you.
Here we go.
Like the Eddie Hearn Shrine, or something like that. How did our thing do on Instagram?
What one? The KSI one?
Yeah.
Millions of views.
Yeah.
I've actually got a new song for you to react to at some point, which
brilliant.
will be delighted
Can't wait.
to see.
Yeah.
Well,
growing up, I always wanted to get to a point where I could react to songs on Parsons TikTok.
Precisely.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, actually, when I open TikTok, it's always, I won't mention who, but family members of yours, always the first people to like the video.
Yeah, because my daughter, I think it's a place where she can see me more often, is on your poxy TikTok. Do you know what I mean? And she goes to me,
she's
Dad,
a big fan of it, actually.
Dad, she goes to me the other day, Dad, what are you doing reacting to KSI's song on TikTok? I was like, I don't know. Parsons told me to do it.
You're turning on the Christmas... Well, we are currently in conversations, but I can't even believe this sentence is coming out of my mouth. I told my mum last night. She was so gassed. We are in conversations for Edward Hearn to turn on the Christmas lights in Cirencester this year.
Is that done?
It's in process, but obviously you're a really busy man. I don't know. I'm not expecting a fee, obviously.
If there is a fee...
Oh, come on, Edward.
No, I'll donate it to charity.
Okay,
I'll do it anyway.
That's nice.
But if there is any kind of fee...
I just think...
I'll donate it to a charity. Maybe a charity close to my heart. The Stomping Ground, maybe. I think that would be nice.
You know what? So basically, the Cotswold District Council would be then donated to my business.
Okay.
Which ultimately works.
So we are dealing with the Cotswolds General Council.
District Council.
District Council. Yeah. Okay.
Does that excite you? I know you've done some big deals in your time, mate.
That's right up there with being on your TikTok, to be honest with you.
What's the world come to?
Sorry?
The fact that you will be making an appearance in Cirencester to turn on the Christmas lights.
It's actually quite funny. I can't believe I've agreed to do it, but I will do. When I get up there, is there a mic? Can I say a few words? Because I'm going to mug you off.
That's fine.
So bad.
But do you not think that's
all your peoples?
All my peoples?
Yeah, all your Cotswolds peoples. Yo, Cotswolds peoples. And there's like a couple of grannies down there. Do you know who this geezer is? It's Parsons. He once told me about how rough things were getting on the streets of the Cotswolds. Oh,
mate, you absolutely have my life here. Let's talk about why we're actually here for the rematch, Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk. What's your gut feeling when you see the both of them?
My gut feeling is Tyson is much more of a determined competitor that sometimes he lets on. So I feel like the defeat would have really eaten him up, which is a good thing. I hope it did, because it's going to fuel him for the rematch. I think once Usyk has beaten you, I think it's very difficult to beat him the second time, because this guy kind of like inputs data during the fight. And don't forget that in the first fight, he bullied and beat up a 6'8", 20 stone heavyweight, which is something that he's never done before. but that's what he felt he needed to do to win the fight. In this fight, I feel like Fury probably needs to be more aggressive. He did hurt Usyk in the first fight and did have success. But also, when you're aggressive against Usyk, that suits him down to the ground because he's a tremendous counter-puncher. His feet are tremendous. He pivots in and out sideways. I just think, I said I felt like the first fight could be a little bit boring because of the clash of styles. It was a brilliant heavyweight fight, and I think this fight will be brilliant. Again, I really do. I think Fury will go for it. I think he'll either get knocked out or he'll win by stoppage. I don't think this fight will go the distance this time.
Does he have to assert himself a little bit more? I know there were comments about, maybe he needs to change the corner team. He won't be doing that as such. But
I felt like he was controlling the first half of the fight. Not everybody agreed with me, but I felt quite comfortable with what he was doing in the first half of the fight. I don't know whether he switched off or Usyk just switched it up, but I think obviously he got hurt badly in the 9th and that changed the fight. I worry a little bit about his punch resistance compared to what it used to be, because Usyk is not a puncher and had him all over the place. But listen, they can all crack. I think if his punch resistance is still decent, I think he should be more aggressive in the fight. I think he should take more chances, and he should step on Usyk when he can. But again, easier said than done. When AJ lost to Usyk, everyone, all you got to do is just walk him down and stick it on him. Doesn't work like that. The guy's brilliant. But I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Eddie, Oleksandr Usyk, we see videos of him doing keepy-uppies. We see videos of him flicking up coins and collecting 4 of them. Ultimately, he always looks in shape. He actually looks like he could be fighting tomorrow, for what it's worth. Is that a danger in that almost whenever you're fighting him, he could almost be ready to go tomorrow, let alone off the back of an 8-week camp?
Everyone's different. Like, you talk about someone that keeps themselves in shape all year round. Is a true professional. So Fury, after his fight, doesn't keep himself in shape. He, might have a beer, might eat a load of shit, and then you've just got more work to do when you go back into camp. So Usyk is always in shape. I'm sure he has his little blowouts, but not to the same level as Tyson Fury. So every time you return back to camp, it's just a little bit harder, and you've got to work a little bit harder. The weight chat is always there, isn't it, with Fury? Is he too heavy? Was he too slim last time? Was it like,
It's just boxing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I guess physically and in terms of your weight, how you are will be suited to how you're going to approach the fight. Like when he fought Wilder 2, he came in heavy and he went on the front foot and he walked him down. I thought that was horrific tactics, and it was actually brilliant tactics. Can you do that against Oleksandr Usyk?
Just on the undercard, Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen, Dennis McCann against Pete McGrail. 2 great fights, obviously, with dual charges on both of those.
Yeah, and Madrimov against Bokacic, which I think is unbelievable. For me, the fight of the night, obviously outside of Fury Usyk, is McGrail-McCann. I mean, it's a brilliant fight. I really like Dennis. I think he's a tremendous fighter. But I think McGrail's got his number. And it's such a great fight for Peter, and it's such a great fight for British boxing. It's exactly what we should be after. British and European championships between 2 of the 2 best fighters in Britain at that weight, and 2 of the top super bantamweights in the world. So I love that fight. I think Dave Allen's the perfect fight for Johnny Fisher right now in terms of what he needs. He's durable, he's smart, he's awkward at times, and I think it will give Johnny Fisher rounds before he headlines in a big fight at the Copper Box next year. And, Moses Atuma on the card, fantastic heavyweight talent. Lee McGregor against Isaac Lowe, just another great night of boxing.
Edward, out of curiosity, I caught up with both Frank Warren and Frank Smith last week, and we spoke a little bit about Promotergate off the back of Saudi Arabia. I said to Frank Smith, what needs to happen the same way that yourselves and Frank Warren got in a room, and there was a point where, you sort of reluctantly shook hands last November, and you find yourself in this position here. I said, what's different with Ben Shalom and Boxer? He said the guy's a pathological liar, and until that changes, then that relationship won't be able to be ironed out. I just want to see your thoughts on it off the back of everything that happened out in Saudi Arabia.
I think about Ben Shalom, about as much as I think about you.
I knew that was coming.
No, but not in terms of ability, like probably quite similar actually, but just in terms of like the amount it occupies my brain. Like, when I was coming, you take different people more seriously than others, right? When I was coming through, Frank Warren did everything he could to put the pressure on. But I knew Frank Warren was a real threat. So I just, you know, Ben's just another promoter. He's just another...
So he's not a threat as such?
No, definitely not a threat, but, you know, it doesn't mean that I dislike him or anything like that. But there's loads of promoters out there that I don't feel are a threat to us. But then every now and again, there's like, the threats are PBC, Top Rank, Warren. Like, these are players. These are smart, these are street smart people that you have to sleep with one eye open. Like, I let Frank and Ben, like Frank Smith,
do the back.
Yeah, they can have their little. They're both, you know, like young and, you know, but he's, in terms of the pathological liar stuff, I mean, I don't know him well enough, but I know he's a right porky pie teller. But there's a lot of waffle that goes on. I mean, let's talk about some waffle. Adam Azim, right? I've never heard so much fucking waffle in my life. I mean, firstly, I heard Barry Jones, who works for DAZN, by the way, I like him. You know, I don't understand why Dalton Smith's chasing you. It's like, it was ordered by the British Board and by the EBU. We're not chasing him, we got ordered to fight him. And it's like, Adam Azim goes, and then you got Barry McGuigan on there, who goes, yeah, the thing is, what has Dalton Smith got for us? He's not a world champion. Well, you just fucking fought O'Hara Davis, who just got iced in one round by a 74-year-old Ismael Barroso, right? And then it's like, you know, we're only chasing the big fights, but we're not ready for Dalton Smith. We'll fight him when the time's right. I mean, no one questions these comments or these people's. And then, you know, you got like them talking about Dalton's. Oh, it's just madness. Nothing really gets called out or questioned. All I know is our fighters are nice and active. And there's plenty and plenty of boxer fighters that are saying, where the hell is my fight date? But that's not my business. Our business is just being the absolute dog's bollocks and the #1 promoter and the greatest of all time.
Edward, I need to wrap up. Could you just really quickly recap on the tennis out with His Excellency last week? Yeah,
it was a great trip, great weekend. I mean, I went to the Snooker Academy, which we've built there with World Snooker Tour and Ronnie O'Sullivan. Unbelievable. The snooker was epic. We had some great boxing meetings over the weekend with His Excellency. I saw Francis Ngannou win. We're here today for the Fury Usyk presser, and then we head up to Manchester for a massive fight week with Catterall against Prograde. Brilliant card, brilliant night of boxing, all live on DAZN.
And the Stomping Grounds live on DAZN as well, much to your enjoyment, Edward.
Is it?
Yes.
I wonder why you're on DAZN.
Because I'm fantastic at my job, and on that note, we will see you
in
in Cirencester turning on the Christmas light.